may not like me too much in your chat, even though I believe that I'm kind of based. Either they're trolling or.
Well, Anson is definitely trolling. Anson is not. Anson is a. He has moments of seriousness that interferes with his ability to troll.
Gotcha. So. I heard something about pornography adjacent.
Oh, yeah,
I'm like, no,
that's just Anson.
Definitely not, man. The Wilsons would not go to war for me if I was. Trust me. Andrew would definitely not. He wouldn't even be my friend.
True.
That was the case. So I'd be written off for sure. And I don't even think I'd be on your channel, Grid, representing anything.
You know, I mean, honestly, so here's the thing. I can have a conversation with anybody, right? Like, Nala could come on here and we could have a great conversation. Now, am I going to? Now, you may have noticed from the clip that I showed last night, I may not say nice things. I don't disguise my true feelings about it, right? Like I don't have much of a filter. And right. So, you know, I'm one of those people who would absolutely say, you know, you're a fucking whore, you know. If you're a whore, sure. Right? Like that's just the way it is. Now, does that mean that I can't talk to you like a human being, and I can't, have a reasonable conversation? No, absolutely not. That's the insanity, honestly, that I see. Right.
Right.
If somebody wants the link, you're going to have to go to my Discord. You're going to have to go to the waiting room and ask for the link. I am watching it. Okay. So you'll be able to get that. But the problem is that if I don't know you, I'm going to have before I bring you up, you've got to cam up. So, that's just how that works. I don't need somebody throwing their dong out on my show. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
so
bad.
So back to the subject. This is why I went to War with Roma Army 6 months ago. And I don't think that I have like such a big following, but I literally vehemently went against her ideology, her beliefs, that she had the transformer ideology. I saw the anti-manosphere, which means anti-men's spaces, but she's a pro-men's advocate, the LGBTQ stuff, everything else. And then not to mention this, but I saw a lot of holes in her old worldview. So then I started going in, producing content to attack her belief system, the tats, all these other things were red flags. And then she started showing clips back to me, throwing clips. And then we just had like this little content war. And then what Rachel did was she got into the comment section, started like throwing some haymakers at Roman, said, hey, I'll debate you. And that's when she came out with the content saying, Andrew Wilson, your dog's off the leash, all this rhetoric. And I was like, shit. So now I'm involved in this. The real Wilsons are involved in this. And then I'm like, all of us are like,
I've been watching that. So I've been watching that go down, and like I've seen her on whatever, and I thought that she was, my opinion, right, of her pre all of this was like she was like base adjacent, right? Like there are people. So in this kind of space, you often meet three different types of people, right? One that is red pill, they're actually red pill, and they don't have and they just don't make any apologies about being red pill, and they believe from their point of view that they're right, period, right? And they've taken the Rollo Tomasi, everything he says is gospel, right? And so you got those guys, and some girls, and then you have the red pill haters, but they still want to be based, right? They still want to be seen as based. They see red pill as for what it is, which is, supporting feminism and that sort of thing. So, but often they're feminists themselves. So you got two versions of feminism there, and then you have the guys that are actually like men, that are men's advocates that reject feminism in all its forms and all of that. And I catch some heat. As a matter of fact, Rollo has thrown me under the bus a couple of times because I told him that I don't see any difference between him and Pearl. Pearl says the exact same shit he says, and yet he calls
That's going to piss him off so much.
It did. I'm telling you, like,
He hates
I told him
Pearl.
I mean, look, we were on a panel together, and I said, Rollo, I don't understand why you hate Pearl. Pearl says exactly the same thing you say in the exact same way. And the only reason I can see that you dislike it is because she says it sometimes better than you do, sometimes not. But you know, the red pill can't exist without feminism, and so I immediately reject all the red pill nonsense because it cannot exist without feminism. And they don't call they will call out feminism, kinda, but not really. You'll never hear them actually condemn feminism. And Roma, it falls into that, right? Like Roma falls into this like pseudo red pill kind of like, you know, nonsense, and that's what
She's got anti-red pill on her bio. It says anti, so it's really antithetical.
Yeah, so does Pearl, but Pearl says literally the exact same thing that Rollo Tomasi says.
Well, the bad thing is they don't offer a prescription. They don't offer men an exit or a strategy. And that's the problem with this, is like, you don't see the end game of this. It's just constant nihilism. If I was a counselor and I need to repeat customers, why would I give them the prescription so that way they don't become customers again? So this is the way I see Roma.
Well, they do get prescriptions though. And that's actually my problem. That's my problem with red pill. Give me 1 second. My favorite flavor of feminism is vanilla. Vanilla feminism. I know strawberry and cherry is also very popular, but it's a little acidic for me, so I'll just stick with vanilla. Anyway, so look, without women being loose, degenerate, you know, cum dumpsters, red pill can't exist. So without feminism, red pill falls flat on its face, and no men will listen to you anymore, because the only reason that men listen to people like Rollo Tomasi is they think that he can get them laid.
Well, but here's the thing, though. I look at red pill as like, I would say, big packet of descriptors, right? That's the red pill I look at it. So when I went to California or Vegas and sat down,
point. I like that point.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
So that's the red pill that I like as far as the descriptor part. What real pill can't do is give you prescriptors. I sat down with Rollo Tomasi on the Rational Mail, and we had a conversation for like, what was it, 3 hours? I was on the podcast. I was supposed to come back with Sterling Cooper, the corn star, and then we are going to be anti-corn together. But I couldn't make the LA or the Vegas trip. But here's the thing, though. To summarize all this, Rollo doesn't give prescriptions, because I literally like had a mini debate with him and said, hey, what are you telling men to do? Well, how are you helping men?
He does give prescriptions. He does. This is one of the reasons why this is the first thing that gave me a bad feeling about what I was hearing from Red Pill was they say, we don't give prescriptors. And yet, so Rollo says that famously, and he said, well, I'm giving you tools to do the job, blah, blah, blah. Every one of his disciples gives prescriptors. They're all selling a course. They're all telling you how to live. They're all telling you that, and Rollo himself will say that, you need to go out and you need to date this kind of women, and you need to make these kinds of moves to ensure your financial, well,
that's the thing, though. I will say this, though. I was a personal trainer for a very long time, and I became an IPB pro. I turned pro at 2 world-class sports. Now, there are people that I train to help 2 other people to become pro themselves. Now, these could be my disciples. We could say that, right? I'm not responsible for what they put out. I've given them the fire, but what they decide to do with this fire, they can either cook with the fire or they can burn somebody's house down. It's like, so I would kind of look at it like that. So I wouldn't really wholeheartedly put it on the disciples. I didn't say that
all the prescriptors, all the prescriptions are bad. But they do give prescriptions, and a lot of the prescriptions are not necessarily bad, but some of them are. And you have charlatans like Wes Watson. And I don't know if you watched, but when Wes Watson and
they don't even like each other. You're talking about
Rollo's like, Wes, what are you doing? And he's like, Wes and I are friends. I can't believe he did that to Andrew. And the other thing is that the other thing that I did to really piss Rollo off is I told him that Andrew Wilson is not red pill.
And he's not. He's not red pill at all. Yeah.
Yeah. But then this is my true problem with Rollo, right? is anybody that gets big, Martae, if you were to hit 200,000 subscribe or 1,000,000 subscribers or whatever, and you blew up, let's say you blew up and you have potential for that, you got some good things going on. Rollo would take credit for your success, just like he was trying to take credit for Andrew's success, because Andrew's red pill in it, and I'm the father of red pill. And that's
great. I think that's a good thing. So this is why I'm going to tell you it's a good thing to push back. This is pushback to support your argument. If this could be an argument, let's just say it was. I would say I would be glad that he pushed back against me, so that way I could stomp the shit out of him with the truth and say this didn't fucking happen. So now that I can expose him more, my position, to be honest with you, Grid, is let's say we're best friends, and then you said, hey, the reason why you're big is because you showed up on my podcast now, and I'd say, no, how do you know that? Can you demonstrate this? And now we'd have a debate where I can at least expose you and magnify this whole faulty exchange that you've had on your end. So I think these are good. I think we can't have darkness without light. These things have to exist. We have to have bad guys to make the good shine, right? Yeah.
Yeah. No, and like I say, Rollo pays lip service to condemning feminism, and yet he absolutely understands it. The red pill, most of the red pill doesn't work without feminism in play. They don't want to get rid of it. They won't do anything about it. They don't want to talk about it. And when you do have a woman who is now, like, I don't specifically think Pearl is feminist, right? I know a lot of people say that because
I don't think she is.
They just don't like what she's saying, and that's just an easy pigeonhole, right? It's just an easy bucket to dump her in. She's just a feminist, but I don't think she is. I think that she's more
nihilism adjacent than feminist. She's more nihilist. If it ain't broke, hey, you know what? The world's burning down. You might as well enjoy it. Take advantage of what you can, guys. Like, that's literally her description of the world right now. She doesn't give prescriptions, which is good. I don't think red pill can give anybody prescriptions. They can't. They don't have a justification or foundation.
I mean, we've listened to Myron for years say you have to get 50 bodies. You can't.
That's so stupid.
Don't date women like this. All this. Those are all prescriptors. And look, I get it. It sells. It gets clicks. It sells merch. Whatever. It's fine. I'm just saying that you can't call red pill an anti-feminist movement when it's literally dependent upon feminism. It's just the way it is. Can't do it. So, Rollo doesn't like me. Rollo really doesn't like me. We've only had one conversation. Now, Michael Sartain, actually, he and I got on pretty good. Mo Rebuttal, you may come on. Again, all you need to do is join my Discord. You go to, it's called The Waiting Room. It literally says Waiting Room. I'm watching it. I've got it open right there on that screen, and I will throw you the link via DM. I do that I control access to my show pretty tightly, and I don't have a Mr. E to do that. And there it is, Mo Rebuttal. And see, this is how easy this is. Now, when you do come up, if you can come up for me, that would be great. I was actually kind of hoping Pixels would come on tonight because he's a pretty based dude. But that's fine, whatever. But yeah, Martae, I hope you do well with what you're doing. What are you doing, by the way? I haven't. I guess I didn't actually watch the show that you were on with Glenn's, and really, all I really know about you is you were accused of doing some cornhole work, and it was fairly obvious that that it didn't necessarily fall in line with reality.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. It was a really bad frame job. It all started off because I was defending Sarah, the Raging Tomato. We all know who she is. Mm-hmm. Basically, he was saying that she was a biased moderator and throwing insults. I stepped in, according to them, I was white knighting, and said, can you prove to me how she's biased? Because if she's biased, why would I show up to a fight when the referee is rigging the match, right? So I am justified for questioning this, right? This would behoove me to do this, right? I would have to filter the content that I have. If I'm showing up to a fight, I want it to be kind of neutral as a moderator showing up, right? Or even the rep, who that's what she is. You were the rep last night, right? So you kind of refereed for all of us. I can't show up to your channel if somebody's saying it's biased, I have to question that, right? For moral integrity. So once I did this, they started firing back at me. Somebody did some digging in my past. They said that, oh, this guy did solo work back in the past. Oh, he's a corn star. They put it up on, these alternate sites. And next thing you know, this war went down. And next thing you know, Andrew got pissed, stepped in. He's like, you guys are going to attack my friend. And then they just got stomped.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll tell you what I'm doing right now. So I was working for a federal agency in law enforcement, but I was terminated because of my speech, because our district director she was lesbian and she didn't like what I was doing as far as debates. I was pushing back against this. Turns out every time I had a debate, I was in her office explaining why some little tiny faux pas mistake happened, and they made a big deal of it. So they stacked paperwork for 9 months. Next thing you know, I got terminated. So I pretty much saw it coming. And they kept telling me, they said, hey, you might not want to have these debates and pushing back against these ideals, same-sex marriages, this and that. You got to stop speaking about that in public. I just said, go shove it. And I already knew I was going to get terminated, and that's where I'm at right now. So I'm going to school right now to be a diesel mechanic, and I'm doing debates. So that's what I'm doing right now.
I mean, you're big enough to be a diesel mechanic, that's for sure. What's up, Mo Rebuttal? How are you? You look familiar. Where have I seen you before?
I'm doing pretty good. Well, I've been on a few different panels before.
Okay, all right. You're either a little far away from your mic or your gain is turned down or something.
Yeah, I'm not.
And you're lagging. Like I see your lips move and then I hear you.
Yeah. One second.
I don't know who's Lindsay talking to. I can't tell if she's talking to Anson Knowles or what. Anyway, well, that's terrible, Martae, that you got fired like that. But hold on, if you're a federal employee, I mean, you could really make her life hell.
I can't. The way they did this was they started stacking paperwork. They were like, oh, you had a call. Dispatch called you. You didn't respond quick enough. It was like little things over a period of time, 9 months. They really were smart about the way that they did this to where they can say, oh, this really did happen. And they stacked enough paperwork to where they can actually make a justification on there and say, hey, you know what? We gave you too many chances. You were on a final and turned in your badge, your duty belt, everything else. I turned them all in and that was it. But I'm still training to qualify for the Olympia next year as an athlete. But yeah, my channel's not monetized right now, so I don't have enough people and enough watch time. So that's why I'm doing some crowdfunding to kind of help me out. If anybody out there, I'm not poaching your audience, by the way, but I just want to say and throw it out. If anybody wants to donate to the Give, Send, Go, that'll be great. If you want to see one of your favorite debaters go out there and stomp the shit out of this tech billionaire, Brian Johnson, hey, if you love to see it, I'll give you guys more content, and this is what I do also.
Test 1, 2.
Yeah, you sound good.
Test 1.
Yeah, that's way better. Yeah, and you're
all right.
We hear things when your lips move.
Yeah, how do you get the sound to come through the new window? Oh yeah, well that's always good.
You figured it out, Bo?
Versus Streamlabs.
Yeah. Yep. So what's up, Mo Rebuttal? What do you want to talk about? It is a chill stream, so pretty much anything is cool.
He's like, I did all this work so I can have dead air time.
Lag here because I'm listening to your stream, but I don't hear it on the new Talk Studio tab.
Okay, so you see that the mute icon down there? Right next to it's like a little diamond thing. You click that, and then you select your speakers or whatever. And if you're not using Chrome, it makes your life hell. It really hates Windows. Or Windows hates it because it's open source.
I can hear you. I think so. Can you say something for me?
Yeah, you're much better.
Okay, cool. All right, cool deal. I was talking about the red pill, I'm actually. You mentioned that I don't really talk about they don't have any prescriptions for things.
Not saying they don't. I'm saying they can't.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
in theory, they can't.
my question
can't.
would be, what I haven't really heard any duties that they ever espouse. Right? It's always like not do this or not do that. It's never what is your actual duties in this worldview, if you want to call it that.
What are my actual duties?
No, the red pill.
Oh, well, I mean, that's a convoluted thing. Yeah.
No,
Give me
I
one
think we're all going to be in agreement on this that they don't have any. They don't have any prescriptors. That's what this is
Right.
all going to end
They
up
make
being. To be
prescriptors,
honest,
but they don't have any rationalization for them. Give me 1 second. How far am I from the munitions plant itself detonated? I'm about an hour and a half from them, maybe an hour. I actually, fun fact, I used to live in Hickman County. I know exactly where Bucksnort, Tennessee is. And I actually pretty sure I know where that munitions factory is or was. So, yeah.
Speaking of that sort of thing, what do you think about all these guys on X and whatnot losing their minds over that new Qatar training base in the U.S.? Have you seen that?
No, I hadn't. I have not seen that.
So the left is kind of losing their mind, saying like, "Oh, the Qatar is going to have their own base here on U.S. soil," but it just takes a few minutes of Google searching basically to understand that that's how the U.S. has trained many allies to work. So, for instance, Germany has had a base. Well, they don't have a base. All the bases are controlled by the U.S. It's just they have personnel there that get training. But Germany's done it since the Cold War. And so now that Qatar is getting their own little training set up, everyone's kind of losing their minds, acting like Qatar has their own base on U.S. soil that they control that's sovereign.
Well, I don't know how much things have changed, but the way it used to be is that, especially for like pilots and some naval officer corps and that kind of thing, because the UAE. So I'll just say UAE to encompass Qatar, Saudi, or all of it, right? They have a lot of military stuff, but they don't have very good training, and they're willing to pay top men to train them, and they have for decades. This has been going on, I think, since like the 70s. As a matter of fact, when I was probably 12 or 13, my grandparents used to host international students, and one of the students was an Iranian who was here to who was learning to be a pilot, and he now he was going to be an airline pilot, but also I guess before he could become an airline pilot at that time in Iran, he had to be a military pilot, and so he learned to fly here, and then he went over there. He went somewhere else here in the U.S. to learn how to fly whatever military aircraft, because they don't have instructors. They don't have any of that stuff.
Yeah, my understanding too is they also have like limited airspace over there to train in because of just the region. So that's another.
Everybody's got rockets they'll shoot at you.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah. It's the rockets, and So I mean, I think that's been going on for a long time. And there, like when we're unhappy with Iran, we kick their people out,
right?
And they go get trained by like the French or somebody. But it's a good. But the thing is they pay cash money.
Yeah, sure. Well, they're also considered an ally, right? Like,
well, Iran's not, but
UAE
no, technically is. Yeah,
Qatar is, from my understanding, what I read. Yeah.
Well, we train the Japanese. We train the South Koreans. We train. Dude, we'll train anybody that'll write the damn check, bro. Like, because what are they gonna? And look, we don't train them on our stuff. We train them on like normal trainers. Like they're learning in like old T5s and stuff. Like they're not They're not learning in F-35s, bro.
Yeah, I just thought it was amusing because you read the headline and it's this very fallacious type posting.
Bad.
Yeah, and if you just read it and you take it at face value, it's like, oh, that does sound kind of weird. Why would they? But then just like 5 minutes of research, like, oh, this is.
Oh, it's been going on for decades. The really cool thing is that you have. Well, I mean, I don't know if it's really cool, but in my opinion, it's fairly cool, right? Is how the way that we train other people enables us to then sell them things. Like we are selling F-35s like they're fucking Hondas. Like you get you put in your order now for 10 F-35s at $5 billion each, whatever.
Get a discount after a dozen.
Right? Yeah, get a discount after that. You get an F-35s. Now we're not giving them the F-22. No, we're not letting that one off the chain. But the F-35, everybody's like, whatever. It's fine. Just let them have it. And I remember when people were freaking out about that, and I'm like, why would we not? It's they're buying them from us. So Lindsay wants to know, because I haven't talked about this enough yet, apparently. Trump's use of National Guard in protests, and if you find it necessary or an overuse of power, absolutely, it's necessary. I'll let it is necessary. I'll let these guys talk about it, but here's the thing. Also, what is my biggest criticism of his time as president as of late? I'll get into that. I have no problem with that. I got several criticisms of Trump, but just like I do of every fucking politician that's breathing today, right? But in my state, because we're the base in the union, our governor actually asked the state attorney, hey, can I order the National Guard to go to Memphis and clean that shit up? And the state attorney said, well, fuck, I don't know. I don't think so, but let me check into it. But I'm off the cuff. I'm going to say, no, you can't do that. But it turns out state attorney dug into it and said, well, yeah, you can. Even though Tennessee actually has a state constitution, and in our state constitution it says that there's only specific things the governor can use the National Guard for. And it turns out criminals and reinforcing the police is one of those things. So we don't have any problems. Like we're down, and understand that if everybody would quit bitching about their the non-existent infringement upon their rights, which it's not, but that's okay. Keep whining. If I quit bitching, the areas that are getting cleaned up are small, right? So the first thing you got to realize is like in Memphis, it's like 8 or 10 blocks worth of bad, right? And they go in there and they take care of it. Same thing in Chicago. Chicago's like, it's maybe a little more than 8 or 10 blocks. It's probably a couple of square miles of the city that needs to be cleaned up. And that's what
I didn't know you were in Tennessee. So am I.
Oh yeah. Which part? I'm about 30 miles south of Nashville.
I'm far. Oh well, I'm about 4 hours from Nashville, but I'm way east.
Are you north or south?
Northeast.
Northeast. You poor bastard.
I like it.
Yeah. That means you're in Virginia or Ohio.
I can be in many different states within, not
right. Yeah, because that's how that little corridor is. It's like you can be in Pennsylvania, Maryland, New Jersey.
Yeah. I like it, man. It's cool. I moved out here from Vegas. I was in Vegas for about 6 years for business reasons. I wanted to get away from the city, man.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm okay. What do you guys think? Do you think? The governor sent the National Guard.
I'm totally for that. I mean, if it's within your
purview,
go ahead and do it, right? And if it's legal and it's built into our government structure, then why wouldn't you? I mean, because you look at some of these states, they're clearly not taking account of their own and taking care of what they need to. So someone has to do something.
Well, here's the thing, though. I just did a podcast and they did like a live stream about Chicago's Mayor Brandon Johnson literally making ice-free zones, right? So the National Guard helps out on several fronts, right? It helps with escalating public safety and crisis demands, which are extraordinary measures that have risen, right? Local leadership has failed at the local level. So we also have legal and historical precedents that support this federal action that happened, right? So not to mention this, but we have tangible benefits that outweigh the risks that are happening right now. They're dropping the ball. A lot of their liberal legislation has failed the city as well, too. They're literally protecting most of the illegal immigrants and allowing them to supersede the benefits that have overtaken the city, as opposed to like the local people who are legal citizens. This is rapid stabilization that's happening right now. It's a deterrent and resource relief fund that's happening right now as they're coming in, and also political and moral imperatives that we have that also benefit our sides too. As conservatives, I think it's good to conserve something. Otherwise, we wouldn't be conservatives, right? So
well, I think there's a couple of factors here, and one of them is that Chicago. So when Trump sent in the National Guard actually just Trump saying I'm going to send the National Guard in, and the and ICE being there doing their jobs, crime went down something like 33% in the last 2 months, right? Like
it did. Yeah, it's plummeted to the basement.
We're not talking about just a little drop. We're talking about
massive.
Off a fucking cliff just by saying, "Hey, I'm going to send in the National Guard." And
so funny how that works.
Weird, right?
Yeah. So weird.
They might cry for federal overreach. I think this is what Lindsay's talking about, or occupation maybe. But inaction is the real moral failing, leaving 617 families without justice. In 2023 alone, if blue city governance won't fix it, both federal action under Trump could probably fix this divisive leadership that saves lives, restores hopes, and also sets role for other failing urban centers like Baltimore, St. Louis. It's not about partisanship. It's about results. And that's what I have to say about this. We need results, and it's not happening underneath their leadership. We haven't seen this in the past, and it's time for a change. Action is better than inaction. We've seen inaction, it's failed, right?
So I think there's a couple of different aspects to this that I think that most people get too wrapped around the axle to actually see. One, the National Guard are not arresting people. They're not going door to door. They're not busting doors down. All they're really doing is preventing people from hurting the ICE agents and the
force multiplier.
Mainly a deterrent. That's mainly what they're doing.
They're standing there. They're rough men on a wall, right? And they're just like, "Hey, you can't do that." And so now this is what I would say. If it were the case that Trump had turned the National Guard into a police force, right? And they were going door to door and knocking on doors, warrantless searches, all that kind of thing, then that we can't do that. Like I would be leading the charge. Lindsay Smith asks, is the National Guard hurting any civilians? Only the ones that try and hurt them, Lindsay. By the way, one of the best things I've seen this week was this dumbass who was yelling and screaming at the National Guardsman. And one of the National Guardsmen is just sitting there, stone-faced, no expression, not giving the guy any lip, nothing like that. This fucking retard is like losing his shit, can't get this guy mad, so he spits on him.
Oh, I saw that.
He got slammed.
It was instant. Yeah, that was good.
That's assault.
That's how you learn what pavement tastes like. Okay.
Yeah.
And I salute that young man for doing that, because that's exactly how you get to do it. That's exactly how it needs to be done. You stand there, you are stone faced, you don't give them anything. But the minute they cross that line, that's the end of it. Swift and decisive. That's it. That was perfect. That was flawless. And they put that guy in cuffs and they perp walked his ass right into jail and handed him over to the police.
My favorite
protester. All right, hold on, Lindsay. Please go find me a video. I will, if you want to link it, I'll get one of the mods to link it or something. Go find me a video of a National Guardsman hurting a peaceful protester.
Just not in self-defense either.
Yeah.
Also, not necessarily what the left would consider peaceful protesters.
Yeah. I like the one where the women are sitting there screaming. The women are sitting there screaming at them, and then the girl flicks something at him or throws something at him, and the guy, now he could have taken her to the ground, but he was more restrained, and all he did was just use the bear mace right in the face. And I mean, that's what
I saw that.
I think I'd rather go to the ground, the bear base. I keep that personal.
Put me in cuffs, please.
Yeah, I'll take a hard stop on the ground before the
CS gas is pretty bad too. I've been through CS gas. That's a nightmare too.
Yeah. But I just I think that what they're doing is, it's not flawless, but it's pretty close. My criticisms of Trump is that he's fighting too many. He's fighting on too many fronts. He needs to climb. He needs to dial back, focus on 3 or 4 things, get that shit knocked out, and then move forward. Yeah, that's my criticism. He's absolutely, and this is why people can say things like he doesn't really mean it, or he doesn't mean what he says, because he'll get, he'll say, well, I'm sending troops to Chicago the same day he announces that he's going to meet with Netanyahu and who the fuck ever to get all of that, sorted out. Like, dude, pick a fight, finish it, move on. That's my criticism. The other criticism I would say is that I think that he could, how do I say this without sounding like a complete asshole? He could, I like the level of rhetoric that he's at, but he could not rub it in people's face quite as hard. But I understand why he's doing it. That's a fair criticism, I think. I think that's fair.
Well, going back to the whole scale of things with National Guard, just in anything, when you do something in mass like this, and you have you go in there with a certain directive, you're gonna have anything at scale is going to have things that fall through and then happen, and then you have to deal with it on those individual levels. But that doesn't negate the fact that you shouldn't actually still do it, because it's the right thing to do. If that's the case, then we would have to throw out most of our laws and not even prosecute people.
Well, on the ground support, as far as the local, I would say even the blacks, when we look at the black community, I've also covered this on my podcast as well too. So if you take some of the clips from some of the people who are blacks and don't support Brandon Johnson for his rhetoric, they're saying, oh shit, the city's been quiet for a while. It's been a little bit more peaceful. No, crime has gone down significantly. They're literally doing TikToks about this and everything else. And mind you, his own people are turning their back on him, and the police are saying, you know what, we're going to be hands off, which means hey, if ICE gets hit and assaulted, hey, we're not supposed to interfere. You're interfering with this by not helping protect anybody else, and you're on his side. So you're creating a civil war to some degree, because your lack of involvement is involvement to some degree, because your allowance is an overcorrection of violence. That's what's going to happen in Chicago right now.
I think my other criticism would be is that he is not. So in his first term, he was very good about calling out the press and making them face when the nonsense that they talked about. It seems like this time he's moving faster, and he's just not focusing on slamming the press with the truth every single day. And what that has led to is it's led to people being able to say things like, Trump has lost all of these court decisions, when in fact he's won 21 out of 21 decisions about what he's doing, right? And as far as the troop movements and all of that. So I think I think he needs to do better, because you can't have a conversation with someone without them saying, but the courts have tried to stop him. The courts have, he keeps violating the court orders, when he's not actually violated any court order. When they say stop, he stops. He then takes it to the Supreme Court. Now, does he know that he has a very willing Supreme Court that is interpreting the Constitution exactly as he does? Absolutely, he fucking does. Of course he knows that, right?
Yeah.
So sure, I mean, he knows where the line is. He knows where to not cross it at. So, but that would be another criticism, is I think that he's got to solve that. And I don't like that he did the meme coins. I don't know what his exact involvement, him and his wife. I don't know what their exact involvement was with the meme coins, but that's a stupid thing to do, and it was obviously going to be a rug pull. So
I wasn't even aware they did that. That's the first time I'm hearing about this. That's interesting.
Yeah, it was right. I think it was actually during the run up. I don't think he was president yet, or if he had just been sworn in or something. But they did a meme coin, and it was such an obvious rug pull, right?
Well, most of them are, yeah.
And so I think he might have actually lost money, but whoever did the coin for him made like $1 billion or something. So
I think the only
with the Haktua coin and all that. Now his son supposedly, what's Eric? No, is it Eric? The youngest son. What's his youngest son's name?
Baron.
Baron.
Yeah, Baron. So Baron, actually, I think he did a meme coin, but he did it with some friends or something, and so that one I think is probably just like any meme coin. It's probably not a rug pull there. So I thought that Modern Men Lost Again was going to come up. I sent you the link, Landry, and I don't see you anywhere. So you're welcome to come up.
One thing that I would like to see, talking about these situations in each of these states, is I would like to see somehow more focus on dealing with these DAs and judges that led these guys out for like the 15th time for violent crimes, and just perpetually makes these pockets of violence in these cities. I don't know what can be done on a federal level as far as Trump is concerned, but I would like to see more focus on that, because I feel like unless you cut off the source, because that's really what the source is, at least that's part of it, you're just going to have this perpetual violence happen over and over again. As soon as you pull the guards back, they can't stay there forever.
Sure,
it's just going to be the same thing over and over again. So,
well, there's an interesting thing there in that one of the things, another criticism of Trump that I would have is I think that I look to him to really push states' rights, and he's been kind of limp biscuit on it. He just hasn't really gone and pushed states' rights like he should, because he should be. He absolutely should be saying that hey, Governor of Chicago, you need to take care of this now. He did tell He did tell Colorado that if they voted in the remote vote, or the mail-in voting, that there would be consequences. And they did, and he pulled the Space Force, all of the 30,000 jobs and all of the funding left Colorado. Like almost overnight.
He does do this in segments. Now, granted, I'll give you this, Mo. Remember that person that stabbed Irina Zarutska on the bus? I think it was a train or something like that. Well, I think it was a judge that let the guy out. She was a liberal judge, and not to mention this, but she was
wasn't even a real judge. Wasn't even a real judge.
Yeah, not even a real judge. And then not to mention that, but we have race hustling at an all-time high right now. It's dying down, I think. But I think the best way to counter this...
It's so much worse than that. It's so much worse than that, Martae.
It is. But the best way to counter this is with rhetoric right now. And I think that, by the way, I'm just going to throw this out there. I'm honestly thinking about probably running next year for my local city. But I'm just going to move on from that.
Are you in California?
No, I'm in Arizona. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you might win.
I think the best way to do this is actually to bring our debates on a local level. Andrew Wilson, I understand why he doesn't want to do this, because he doesn't want to take lead. I don't mind doing this. I don't care. I'll fight these people. But I think that if we can literally have these debates public and kind of turn their logic on its ear, as far as legislation, these laws that have to get passed, we can prevent a lot of this happenstance from happening. Like the person letting the guy out, he would never been let out, and his father was a repeat offender that got let out several times. So when people say this isn't a black issue, the guy said, "I got that white bitch. I got that white bitch." Literally. So it's like, how is this not a race issue? They're race hustling.
So much worse than that. So
It's just a fragment that I'm describing. That's it. Just a fragment. It's bigger. I know. Yeah.
The magistrate in charge of this case, who it's probably totally immaterial, but also a black lady, who I believe was also lesbian. Not that has anything to do with anything. But her partner owned, I think they co-owned the mental health facility that she sent this guy to. Although she only sent him to the facility, he never actually had to show up. He never showed up there, but she still got paid.
Damn,
for going there, right? So she didn't lock him up. Rather than lock him up, which is what should have been done, because he had like 18 or whatever assaults or some shit like that. But it was like a really big deal. Instead of locking his ass up, outpatient therapy, right? That he had no legal responsibility to show up for and never did. Still got paid by the state. And they killed that lady on the bus while he was out on that, instead of being locked up, which is where he should have been.
Yeah.
Worse than that is up in Washington D.C. area. I don't think it was actually in D.C. I think it was in Virginia, but in that area there was an illegal immigrant. Now, I don't know which brand. It could have been Mexican or Colombian. I don't know, whatever. But an illegal immigrant in a sanctuary city, who had been pulled over for not having, he had been pulled over for DUI like a couple of weeks before. Nothing happened to him. Okay. Sanctuary city. Goes out and hires this 19-year-old girl who's a prostitute. I mean, I'm not judging that. I mean, people sometimes have to do things. I don't agree with it, obviously. Hires this prostitute, takes her back, kills her, wraps her up, throws her body off a bridge.
Jeez. Yeah.
Sanctuary city, baby. It's so much worse. It's so much worse.
Yeah, I do think Martae's right though on trying to get things going on the local level, right? Because I mean, we've seen cases of this before with other things. Like for the longest time, the Second Amendment guys wanted to get constitutional carry on a federal level, and then you never could get it done. And then now on a local level, more and more states have added constitutional carry to their local level, and now there's more states with it than without it. And if you would have thought, if you'd asked me 10 years ago if that was possible, I probably told you probably not. But so there is cases where that can work. I just really do wish we could put more focus on it. Maybe that's what I'm looking for. More focus on putting the spotlight on it from Trump, right? Or from someone in that administration, where they put the spotlight on it and make it glaringly obvious this is what's one of the root causes causing these pocket cities with all these violence, and that never ends.
Well, Mo, I would say that as a citizen that voted for Trump, I would say that we have some primary duty to actually support him in other ways than just speech, right? I think acting and kind of being an example of this in society. It sounds really corny if I say this. By the way, I do have to leave Grid in about 10 minutes because
no worries.
In about 2 hours, I'm going to have a podcast on Black culture becoming more racist in 2025 and why this must be stopped. So I know it sounds really divisive, but like I said, podcasts like this kind of do help a little bit when we bring light to these issues. And like I said, to Mo's rebuttal, what I'm because I play on words here, but I'm just saying I think that if we can basically fight legislation on the local level, this would help immensely. I don't think that people talking about a problem like Mo coming home to his wife, I don't know if you're married or not, or Grid, let me just say your wife, right? If you come home to your wife and you complain every time, but you never have a solution, will you build resentment? I would say probably yes. But I think as us as citizens, we somewhat have a duty to kind of like do more than just talk to some degree when we see something rife with abuse. So
I agree with that.
and this could be anything else. This could be, I mean, reporting an illegal. This could be. I'm just saying.
I don't know that
Well,
50K bonus on ice is looking real tempting right now.
I mean, again, I think one of the things that one of the things I'm really surprised is that Trump isn't pushing states' rights harder. I mean, maybe he just doesn't have enough hours in the day. But
what do you think that would do? What do you think the outcome from that would be?
I think he needs to push hard on states' rights so that we can actually have a clear delineation between where the federal government ends. Because right now, that's one of the problems he has with it when he sends these National Guard in. He's doing it legally, but nobody knows that because nobody actually understands what states' rights are and what or anything we live in an age where we are the dumbest, most informed people ever.
Yep.
We have so much information at our fingertips, and yet we are complete morons. Or a lot of us are because nobody. I mean, when you say states' rights, people are like just out to lunch on it. But
well, that's easy because we're handed everything. We're in a generation where we feel like we deserve shit. We don't know. You don't deserve anything. I think that everything has to be earned. Well, when you're getting information just literally spoon fed to you, back in those days, like if I had to look at a bodybuilding magazine to find out who won the Olympia, I had to wait the next month for the subscription to come out. So I found out I had to literally read pages, not just look at pictures. But I think now because we're handheld fed things, like we live in a microwave generation. We want things. A long relationship, hell, as a boyfriend or girlfriend, is like a week nowadays. So if people don't have patience, I think the internet and everything else, iPod kids being raised by tech, I think that's creating kind of like an artificial ADHD that's happening right now in society. We need to bring back traditional, normal, I think, kind of like homesteading to some degree on a microcosm. Not saying you should have a ranch, but I think that we shouldn't rely on a public system to raise our kids. I think there's a lot. This is a big conversation.
Everybody feels they're owed without duty.
Yeah, so I kind of disagree. I disagree a little bit, right? Like that's why I think pushing states' rights is how we end this, right? Because like in Tennessee, for example, we operate right now we're operating at about a $2.1 billion surplus in our budget every year, right? Every state should be like that. It just why are you not, right? And so when people are just ignorant of the difference between states and federal, we have been conditioned, every single person in this conversation to some degree is conditioned to believe that the federal government is the one that is daddy, right? Like, no, my state is daddy, right? Like I can go down and talk to my fucking governor. Okay. I can't talk to the president of the United States, but I can talk to my governor. And so I really want more and more people to really push the idea of states' rights. And the problem is the Fed, everybody, if you ask someone right now, who has more authority in their borders, the states or the federal government, literally people will not know that the states have more power in their borders.
Of course. We also have proximity as well too.
Sorry, I gotta jump off, but it's been a pleasure. So I'll
man, absolutely. Come back anytime. We'll be here.
I'll see you next time. Thanks.
For sure, Mo. Yeah.
All right. Well, good coming up, Mo. What's up, Anson?
I'm just here with my buddy Martae. We're gonna be best friends.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's
Martae. He's a monarchist. Have you ever met a monarchist? Like a real one? I don't think. I think that's Anson's best troll. Is he keeps saying he's a monarchist, but he doesn't believe. I don't even know because he doesn't believe in kings. It's a best troll ever.
I can see it. Yeah, I can see it.
Because if he believed in monarchy, if he believed in monarchy, if he believed in a monarchist society, he would be rooting for Trump to just take over tomorrow as king, and he isn't.
Well, Trump's a liberal. Why would he do that?
Well, Trump is he's a moderate for sure. He is leftist in some aspects for sure.
Yeah, I mean he's all about the.
I'd say some.
He's all about the whole gay marriage thing. You know, he supported the Skittles folks back in the early part of his first term until it became politically unpopular. Like that Bruce Jenner guy was all over the Trump wagon, and Trump was all over Bruce Jenner. You know, they were pals, right? Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, Trump's not a right wing, you know, social conservative or any kind of traditionalist American. He's a political opportunist, and he's a really good one. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not, you know, going to sugarcoat it and pretend like he's not good at what he does.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever liked any president that's ever been sitting. I mean, to be honest with you, there hasn't been anybody I fully liked, to be honest with you. Same thing with what Grid said. So yeah.
Yeah, and you're right, Grid, to call me on the whole monarchist thing, right? Because I don't think it's a politically viable position, to say, hey, I'm a monarchist.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I mean, that doesn't make voting moral, you know.
It makes not voting immoral.
Well, I mean, no, not particularly, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I will agree with you that if you do not care, if you have no political bias or feelings in any direction, then voting would not be immoral.
Well, I think
voting would not be immoral. However, if you ever say, I really hate this person, and I really hate the way that they're running this country, or I really love the way this guy's running a country, and you can't define your political stance, then that probably is immoral.
Yeah. So the problem with voting is that we let so many people who don't understand what they're doing go out and do it, right? That's why I say it's immoral, right? We're letting all of these people who don't have agency over their own decision making to make decisions about what happens with my government.
Yeah.
And that's immoral.
Yeah, I get that.
I mean, we let a lot of people who don't have agency drive, and they shouldn't be driving.
Yeah.
Look at the age limits on driving. You can be 75 and drive with cataracts. And it's you know, so, I mean, this could be mapped onto a lot of other things as well, too. But I agree with you more often than not, for sure.
Yeah. But I mean, but you're right about like monarchist is the best approximation of what it is that I believe, because when you go to the logical conclusion of the things that I say, that's the end point. Right. But I understand that there's not going to be a king.
Yeah. Hey, while I'm going to just really quickly, guys, if you have Twitch, go over and just open a window, log into the Twitch, so that I need an average of 4 viewers for the next 2.5, 3 hours, and it'll be rad. I have to have average of 4 viewers for 4 days. So, and right now my average is way down, so I gotta pump that up. There's a link.
Yeah,
but anyway,
bring people in, share them, hit the like button, subscribe. See if you can get people to subscribe, help out, guys. So
yeah, it looks like some people jumped off to go over to Sarah. Sarah's doing a grab bag panel tonight, which I think is cool. Yeah.
So I got my thing I'm getting ready for, so I'm about to hop off. Good to see you, Judge.
Sorry, I missed the first part. What was that?
Oh, I gotta hop off right now, but it's good to see you guys.
Yeah,
I appreciate all your support, Grid. Yeah, thanks for having me up and allowing me to kind of spew some of my opinions. So
Yeah, no problem, man. You're welcome anytime. I do a show 5 days a week. 2 days and 3 nights a week, and we'll talk. We'll DM me, and we'll talk about the VK thing. We'll do like a voice call or something.
So here's my opinion, just to give a quick.
Yeah, you can give me your opinion. I'm just not. So what if, for whatever reason, let me explain something to you about Speakeasy, right?
Oh no, this is going to be something else.
Oh, okay.
We can talk about that later.
All right.
My opinion on the something else thing was to say the reason why I'm here and the reason why I do want to do debates on your channel is because I feel like it was fair, it was firm, and it was consistent. And then not to mention that, but you had outsourced judges that were on your panel, so real time IRL, we can be judged. I think that this is good. It wasn't monetized judging, which I think that it can kind of skew the results as well too. I know this is kind of correlation or adjacent to the other topic, but I want to keep a distinction between the two. I'm glad that it's fair, firm, and consistent. So I will be coming back. I think I'm more interested in the debate panels more than anything else.
Yeah, that's what I'd like. We only do that once a week, and I like to do it. And unless you want to come out and debate, if you want to have a debate with somebody, I do moderate, and I feel like I'm pretty fair on the moderation. I don't really yell at people too much unless they're, like Gibbs and Horseradish last night were just going nuts.
Okay. So, I have a debate. Somebody wants to debate me. It's from somebody from the Roma army. So I'll DM you about it.
We got distracted from the Roma army thing. I didn't realize that, honestly, I didn't realize that she was actually mentally messed up. I did not realize that. But
I backed off.
She's like, can you not tell by looking at her grid?
We started out with that, was like, it's just like, it's just like any edgy person, these days. But no, I thought she was just like kind of being edgy and stuff. But to out and out lie when literally your own words are posted above your next comment where you lie through your teeth, that's not edgy, bro. That's insanity. That's insanity. Like, don't do that. That's bad.
So there's other evidence as well too. I posted a video of her saying, well, I woke up and I thought I wanted to just self-delete myself. And, oh, did I really say that out loud? And then the other clip, she's telling one of her viewers to say, well, for my birthday, can you say the N-word? She literally told one of her followers, well, why don't you delete yourself? And I'm like, oh, this is great. So unstable. I've kind of backed off, and I told the Wilsons this in a conversation, and now they're saying, you know what? She's certifiably having mental issues. We're going to back off too. So we backed off from her, not her followers. If one of her followers wants to debate, like, I'll definitely debate them on your channel, which one of them does actually. So.
I did not know this. I didn't know this. I mean, it's never been said anywhere, so I didn't know that until now.
But I mean, based on my anecdotal dating experience of the ladies I've talked to in the last year, that's all women nowadays, right? They claim every single one of them claims they've been abused. So I don't trust that with worth anything. So
Victim Olympics. We just had that debate last night. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out.
Yeah. Well, Martae, you're welcome anytime. Have a good rest of your evening. Hit me up whenever you have some time and you see me online. I'll be glad to chat with you.
I'll shoot you a message. All right, you guys take care. Good to see you, Judge.
All right. See ya.